all the same. Here's how I've done it. So as you can see, this is where I'm storing all my dev stuff. It's just in c.dev. And I want to be able to create projects for GitHub in their own folder. So that's what I've done here. But this is the important bit. I needed to create a folder on my system, and I've tried many different layouts of these same folders. This was the only way I could set it up. Well, this is the way I found it got it working. I created bin and SD card. This can be anywhere, but you just got to know where it is. I've put it in dev ZXNext. Inside SD card, you've got to get that file there. That's available online. If you Google that exact name, you'll find it. Even more annoying, it came with 2 files. Them 2. So that and that I got off the website. But it tells you to put this in the root of CSpect, and then this can be anywhere as long as you know where it is. It says these have to be in the root of CSpect. I've found it doesn't work doing that. And not only that, so I'm probably doing something wrong, but this does work. This wasn't provided. I had to go into 7-zip. I had to open it. I had to go into one of these, I can't remember. And I had to find. And the only reason I found this was because I read through the log file. It's not in here, somewhere else. In there. So yeah, they'd given me this and like this, but they didn't give me this. And I was getting this error that I couldn't see. There was no notification of the error. But in the end I found a log file that said it couldn't find that file. And it told me the specific location it was looking, which was in here. And so I will make this available to download. If I'm allowed to. I'll have to check if I'm allowed to provide these. But if not, you'll have to find them yourself. If you lay them out in the exact order that I've done them. In the bin, this is CSpect. This is just basically CSpect, the entire folder. But I've also put sjasm in here and hdfmonkey.exe. These I can make available for you, especially HDF. That's quite hard to find with the exe of it. So drop me a line if I haven't put a link, and I'll get you it on Discord or wherever else. And eventually I'll put it up to, it'll be on the GitHub anyway. But as I say, this isn't going to appear on my GitHub, this folder here. These are the only ones that will appear on GitHub. The Spiky the Next Generation. Now, this is annoying as well. If I want to create a folder for my project like that, I don't need data or etc. But I've had to put this into source, keep it out of the way. And here's where main.asm is. And then you can just think of that exactly like our normal folder. But a layer above that, you don't need any of that. I've created this, which is just that simple line there. Oh, flipping. Is that even readable on my stream? Oh, there we go. So this just points to that other folder I just showed you, and specifically it points to sjasm plus, and it then launches from main.asm in the source folder. Now you might say, oh, this is all cack-handed, why didn't you put it into the other folder and into the root, which is what the instructions tell me to do? But that didn't work. I tried it dozens of times in different formats of putting them in different file locations. I tried loads of things. This way works. And not only that, but I followed it off some guy. Unfortunately I don't have his name, but he's on the actual ZXNext tutorials on their main website, you know, the official one. And this will allow me to put breakpoints in. This is where we put ZXNext equals CSpect. That actually tells you, or tells the chain, that your build chain that you're using CSpect, and it allows you to do this map thing, which you see here. This is the more complicated one, but it's not very complicated. So it calls build.bat. You don't have to click that. If it doesn't error, it calls HDF monkey, replaces, puts in main.next into the SD card. That's what HDF monkey does. It then calls CSpect with all those different commands, including the map.project map, which I'll show you in a minute. MMC is to do the image file for the ZXNext ROM. I've tried it, you know, there's simpler instructions for this online, but it doesn't work. Sorry if it does, but if someone watches this from the ZX team, I could not get it working. I followed the example step by step. I deleted everything, started again. Tried all sorts of little variations on that instruction. In the end, I found a tutorial on the very same site that contradicted everything. Showed me this way. And that was written by a third-party user, but I haven't got his name. But anyway, long story short, you're going to have to copy these, and obviously I can provide these. Then you can just double-click that. Oh, that opens this first, and then this. Down the bottom, main.next. There you go, I just painted the border pink. But if we actually go into the project, oh, and of course, all them files were generated, including project.map, CSpect.log, which was where I found the problem. As you see, there's no problem, it just says ROM enabled. It now works. Before I was having some errors in there. And they're silent errors, they don't tell you what they are, unless you go and read the log. Yeah, cheers Moz, I'll definitely, I'll upload it to you, mate. There's 2 GB files though, you'll have to download separately. There's only one file it's not even, it unzips to be 2. It's only actually about like 50 meg. Like a blank SD card image. Yeah, if we go into the source. Now, I'm still in Space Taxi here, but I've opened the main.asm, which is all you really need to see for this example. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. But I still have no clue of how to draw to the screen. If you see I set the border pink, what we've done is I've used my exact same code. This should be 8000 now because I cannot use my buffer. I've been trying, as you can see here, but I can delete all that. It definitely won't work, I can tell you for sure. However, the rest of it is fine, and I'm pretty sure I can just pop that to 8 now actually. And I don't even think you have to do that with the next. But of course, if you want to like keep it compatible with the 48K, probably want to do that. Still a bit hazy of my knowledge over why start in certain places. I get it on the 48K. Anyway, device spectrum next, of course. This is very important to get that map that allows you to do breakpoints in here and actually use it. Although I haven't successfully done that yet, but that's what that's about. You can also put commands like pause and break into your code. If I uncomment that, I'm not going to open it because we're in the wrong project actually in this window. But I could just go to invoke item like I used to, as long as I was in the right folder, and invoke run.bat, and I wouldn't have to leave this window to open up the next. Yo, Vulcan. Yeah, good night, Micro. Thanks for coming in again, man. Main menu.start, all it does is it uses spec_chums routine. I'm going to open it. Just save. As you see, our project looks a bit more complicated. No big deal. Uncomment that. Down the bottom, we've got the normal includes. We have this stack top thing that Microman taught me about. I don't even know why it does that. I haven't even looked into why. And to be honest, I don't care why, as long as it works. If I have to learn about it, I will, if I run into problems with it. But basically, as you can see, it's used in these directives. I had to add 3 zeros for this new approach. We just had config 7 there before. This sets some other instructions. It's something to do with the map. Again, I didn't fully understand it. I just read about it and did it. That used to be there, but I removed it. Main menu, I'm going to delete that. Main menu uses spec_chums routines, as I'm just demonstrating there. Modified by Microman to do these macros or whatever it is. Again, you're way past me on that. I don't understand much of that yet. Sometimes I don't mind just using routines and not understanding them. It's just to print a string. I don't really care how it works, if it works. So now we can, and I've spoken to Richmond Mike. He was having problems with this very same toolchain using spec_chums routines. But I have managed to get it working here. I'll just prove it. I'm in the correct folder now. So I'll just check that by writing list. Yeah, run.bat. And unfortunately it pops up in my other window every time. But there you go, as you can see it's popped it in there. Oh, it hasn't taken the next in there. Maybe I've got an error. I didn't get an error. Earlier it popped up with spiky TNG. Current level. Main menu. Not that that would even matter. It said it worked. Funny how it's not appearing though. Oh. Huh. I think I didn't have the border at the time. I think I was jumping straight into main menu loop when I actually had it working. Oh, I think I didn't save it. Possibly. Once I get this working, there's a couple more things I want to show you, people who want to set up the next. Something quite important. Might not know. There we go. Spiky TNG. I hadn't saved it. Like an idiot. It's because before I just had to press Control B and it saved it and built it. So we've successfully written the screen at least, and we can now study that to see where the screen memory is. But it appears it is in 4K. I think there's two lots of screen memory. You've got layer 1 and layer 2. This is layer 1. Exactly, Moz. There we go. Get the big time now. I mean, the way I see it is, if I can actually make a decent game for the next, I could probably sell it for like, you know, $3.99 or something. Physical copy maybe even, I don't know. Or just download, I don't know. 100, cheers, Vulcan. You're a legend, man. Oh, you're off to bed? Okay, dude. Thanks again for popping in. I'm going to be adding more to Space Taxi tomorrow, although they've called me into work, so I've got a shift tomorrow and all next week. But I'll still be on. So I actually don't want to jump into main menu though. I want to jump into see if that causes an. It's not that bad at all though, look. It's really not too bad. Pilot and run it on there. That seems to be good, but I'm just going to change the message just to make sure it was changing. Because it's a brand new system to me, this. Oh yeah, and since this is going to serve as a sort of very quick start setup for the next dev, I'll show you what I mean by main.next. Yeah, that's definitely working. Look. So I name everything main. So if I want to build another one, because it runs off an SD card, if I want to make a game like Spiky the Next Generation, then I want to jump into Space Taxi and I run build. Because I've called everything main in all my projects, it's done deliberately so I don't have to remake these. See, look, they're specific to main. You'd have to remember to change the name of that, and in other places. And when you change it here, there's another place you've got to change. So I ended up deciding just to call it all main, and to to live with just one project at a time. Now there's nothing stopping me actually copying that SD card, saving that somewhere, and then doing another project. UFOs, aliens were partially alive. Yeah, I was just about to say, how can anything be partially alive? So it was alive, but dying. I mean, I love reading about UFOs and stuff, but I never see anything, unfortunately, that I believe true. But I do like some of them programs about the ancient age, where they talk about all the different monuments around the world and how they arrived here. I don't necessarily believe in all the archaeological style history. They were alive, but just a little bit. Yeah. Funny stuff. Yeah, so I guess a quick recap so I can upload this as a specific next one. You have to have this. And if you're going to copy my way, you have to have that as well. I'm exactly the same as you, Moz. I love watching them, but I'm highly skeptical. But I enjoy it anyway. Yes, you have to have that. You have to have these set up with the stack and copy them exactly. And then you have to have that. Again, here's another place you would have had to rename it. It's safest just to call everything main. Like your main.esm, ASM, and then main.next. Then you don't have to change it every time. You can copy it. If you're going to work on multiple projects, obviously name it something else. This is the start of the program. That's your stack top, which is set there. 0. Obviously, that's probably getting set at the start somewhere. Actually, it's not. It's just 0. It's almost like, why does that have to be there, really, if it's just 0? Obviously there for a reason, but I don't know. Yeah, and then that's what your run.bat will look like. It's build.bat. Oh, thank you, Moz. Thank you so much, guys. So generous. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I really am quite excited about that Space Taxi game, but I know it's going to end up quite trashy. It's not going to be perfect, but still, if I can figure out how to do sprites, I'm going to read that tutorial you sent me. If I can figure out how to do them, then I'll probably switch over to the next sooner rather than later. When's it getting released then? Because I know it like went through the Kickstarter, but is it going to be years before it comes out? Probably won't be that long, will it? I'd love it if I started developing for Next and then they give me a free one to give away on the channel. That would be epic. Might write to them and ask them just in case. You never know. Worth an asking it. Do a raffle on the channel. That'd be epic. Right, I'll get off now. People who are setting up the Next, please bear in mind I'm brand new to it myself. I'm going to upload these files, and if you can't find them, send me a message one way or another, and I'll deal with it for you. Get over to you. Other than that, have a lovely rest of your night. Thank you again for the bits, Moz. Thank you, Vulcan, for the bits. I'll see you again tomorrow night in a colouring Space Taxi. Get some people wanting fares. First Kickstarter. Delivery August 2021. That's perfect timing then, isn't it? Plenty of time to get some, like 2 good games. Yeah, good night, man. Thank you again.